Have you ever had the feeling of thinking about someone, and then suddenly that person sends you a message or appears out of nowhere? Well, that's it. It's no coincidence. There is an invisible force that connects all minds, and when you understand how it works, you can make anyone think of you wherever she is. It sounds crazy, but that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. What I'm going to show you in this video is something simple, yet powerful. A sentence, a single phrase that, when said correctly, activates the energy field between you and the person you want to reach. It's not a spell, it's not manipulation. It's pure vibrational connection. And yes, Alan Watts himself already explained how this happens. The problem is that most people talk, desire, try to attract someone, but they do it with anxiety, with fear of losing. And the universe does not respond to haste, it responds to frequency. Therefore, in this video, you will understand how to align your energy with that of the person, and what exactly to say to make her feel your presence even from a distance. You'll find out why some people just can't forget you, and how to use it naturally, without insisting, without running after it. Then, watch until the end, because what you'll learn here can completely change the way you connect with others, and after hearing this sentence, you'll understand why. The universe makes a point of bringing to mind that person, precisely you. Now you understand the power of speaking with intention. What you just heard can completely change the way you connect with people and the universe, because starting today, you no longer speak for the sake of speaking. You speak with consciousness, and the universe responds. This knowledge takes you to another level, and that's why it's worth giving back this transformation. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this is where you learn what really makes the universe work in your favor. Each new content is made for those who want to continue evolving and mastering this connection. So be part of this process. Interact, participate, and show that you understand the power that words carry. Have you ever noticed that some people have the power to speak and the entire environment changes? They say a simple phrase and somehow it sticks in your head, as if something has been activated. It's no coincidence. There's a reason why certain words carry weight and others go unnoticed. That's what we're going to talk about now. Real power of words. Because what you say is not just sound, it is energy. And the universe doesn't understand what you say with your mouth, it understands what you feel while speaking. This is the difference between repeating something and actually activating a frequency that makes things move in your favor. And that's precisely where most people go wrong. They speak without feeling, they desire without believing, they ask out of fear. Alan Watts said that life is a game of energy in motion, and that includes every word that comes out of your mouth. When you say something, you're setting the universe to work in a direction. The problem is that many people do this without knowing what they're sending. They say, "I'm tired. Nobody thinks about me. Nobody cares." And the universe responds, "I understand." It sends back more situations that reinforce exactly that. Now, when you speak with presence, when you put real intention into it, something changes. You've probably felt this before. That phrase you said once and then everything seemed to align. This happens because you transmitted vibration, not just words. What people forget is that words carry energy even before they're spoken. The way you think about them, the way you feel while formulating them, already begins to shape the outcome. That's why, at times, all it takes is to say something just once, but with strength, with truth, from the heart, and the universe understands. It doesn't need repetition, it needs clarity. And when that clarity comes from within, it creates an impact. It's as if the vibrational waves of your words travel through space and meet the energy field of the person you want to reach. That's why, when you think of someone and say something with genuine emotion, that person feel. Sometimes you don't even understand why, but you feel it. You've been there, right? Thinking intensely about someone and, out of the blue, they text you or cross paths with them on the same day. This happens because there's an invisible communication, a kind of energetic connection that goes beyond logic. And the curious thing is that you can learn to use this consciously. You can learn to put true intention into your words, and with that, influence the field around you. It's like tuning into a radio frequency. When you speak with the right vibration, the universe simply listens to you, and whoever is connected to this vibration even from afar, feels its presence. The problem is that almost no one speaks with intention. People speak automatically, responding for the sake of responding, and living distractedly. They don't realize that while they complain, they affirm, and while they doubt, they block their own power. When you begin to understand this, everything changes. Speaking is no longer something ordinary, it's a conscious act. And this is where the game changes completely, because you realize you can use words not to complain, but to direct energy. You can say something and know that the universe will react. And when you understand this, you start to choose what you say better. You start to feel what you're saying, and the result is different. Now, think about it. How many times have you used harsh words without realizing it? How many times have you sent messages anxiously, waiting for a response, only to have the opposite effect? It's because the energy you emit is stronger than the text you write. People feel it, even without understanding why. They pick up on the vibration. So when you speak calmly, confidently, with clear intention, something changes on the other end. The right words, spoken at the right frequency, resonate with a response. That's why the secret isn't repeating what you want 1,000 times. It's say it once with the right feeling, and let the universe do the rest. Alan Watts explained that life is like a reflecting pool. What you project is what comes back. Therefore, when you speak with clarity and true emotion, the universe returns it with the same intensity. Power lies in the moment you understand that your voice is pure energy, and everything you emit will come back to you in the form of experiences, people, and situations. Now, you might start remembering times when you said something and then saw it happen. You might think it was a coincidence, but it wasn't. It was the universe responding to your field. And this is so real that when you master it, you begin to realize you don't need to insist. Just emit, trust, and observe. The point is, the universe is always listening. Every thought, every word, every emotion is a vibrational command. Therefore, speaking consciously is the first step to transforming your life. You can make someone think of you, not through control, but through connection. It's like turning on a light in the darkness. The person feels the glow and somehow remembers you. The trick is in the energy that accompanies the words, not the words themselves. And that's what makes this technique so powerful. A simple phrase, spoken just right, can bridge any distance and create an immediate effect. Now, before I show you what this phrase is, comment below the word energy, so I know you understand how real this is. Because it's precisely the energy that makes the difference, not the sound, not the text, but what vibrates behind it. And when you understand this deeply, you'll realize that it's enough, say it just once, with true intention, so that the universe begins to act silently in your favor. And that's when everything really starts to change. Now that you understand that words have power, it's time to go deeper. There is something even stronger than the sound of your voice, invisible connection between you and others. And this connection exists all the time, even when you think it's been forgotten. Alan Watts explained that separation is an illusion, that we are all connected by a shared field of consciousness. In other words, no one is really far from you. What changes is the degree of attunement. And when you learn to vibrate at the same frequency as someone, it doesn't matter where that person is, they'll feel it. That's when everything starts to make sense. And that's why the universe has this strange way of suddenly putting certain people in our minds. Think about those times when you're distracted and out of nowhere, a specific person pops into your head. Or when you dream about someone you haven't seen in a long time, and the next day, they appear. That's not magic, it's synchronicity. It's the universe saying the connection between you is still alive. What Alan Watts wanted us to understand is that life is not a network of separate things, but a single system breathing together. It's like an ocean. Each person is a different wave, but they're all part of the same water. So when one wave moves, it inevitably touches the others. This means that when you think of someone, you touch that person. The energy goes back and forth. The thought creates a field, and that field reaches the other, even if you haven't spoken in years. The problem is that people confuse connection with control. They want to force the other person to think about them, to miss them, to remember them. But the more they try to control, the more they block the natural flow. Because true connection isn't born from pressure, it's born from connection. Alan Watts said that the secret to life is to flow like water. And this applies to relationships as, well, when you try to hold on too tightly, it slips through your fingers. But when you relax and just allows that energy moves, it finds its way on its own. And that's when things start to happen in the right way. You know what's most curious? When you begin to align with this idea, people begin to feel your presence even from a distance. They can't explain it, but something in them stirs. It's as if a memory suddenly sparks. This happens because, on an energetic level, you're vibrating coherently. You're not sending desperate messages. You're emanating a balanced vibration, and the universe recognizes it. The other person feels this vibration as if it were a gentle memory, a sudden thought, a feeling of missing you for no reason. This is proof that everything is connected, and when you understand this, you learn to act more consciously. Alan Watts said that the human mind tries to separate what the heart already knows is one. When you understand this unity, you realize that thinking about someone is the same as connecting with them. Therefore, the focus should not be how to make the other person think of me, but how to keep my energy in harmony so the universe sends the right signal. Because the purer you're feeling, the stronger the vibration. And this vibration crosses any distance without the need for words. That's why some people appear in your thoughts just when you decide to let go. Detachment creates space for energy to circulate, and the connection is naturally renewed. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever felt someone think about you? Have you ever had that feeling of being remembered by someone, even for no apparent reason? Comment below with the word connection, because that's exactly what it's all about. This invisible web that connects everything and everyone. And it's this truth that will make you understand the next step. How to transform this consciousness into a force that makes people feel your presence, even when you are far away. And that's when the universe starts to act in ways you never imagined. Now that you understand that everything is connected and nothing is truly separate, comes the most important part, the vibration you emit when you talk or think about someone. Because the universe doesn't respond to the words you use, it responds to the emotional frequency behind them. It's like a song. No matter the lyrics, what really touches people is the tone, the emotion, the energy that comes from you. Alan Watts said that you are the universe experiencing itself, and that means that everything you feel is a message sent directly to the field where everything happens. So, when you speak with anxiety, fear, or need, the universe doesn't understand, I want this person to think of me. It understands I'm lacking, I'm out of balance. And what does it do? It returns more lack and more distance. But when you speak calmly, with confidence, with that feeling that there is already a real connection, the answer is completely different. Because you're no longer trying to force anything, you're just vibrating at the frequency of certainty. It's as if the universe is saying, this person understands the game. Watts always said that the secret to life is to let it flow, and that applies to this kind of connection as well. The flow of energy only maintains itself when you don't try to control it. It's when you truly feel, without needing to prove anything, that the other person feels too. The truth is that the universe doesn't work with logic. It works with harmony. And harmony isn't saying what you want 1,000 times, it's feel like it's already happened. Therefore, the secret isn't repeating emotionless phrases or mantras. It's putting your heart into each word, as if you were speaking directly to the person's soul. Alan Watts explained that reality is shaped by the person's internal state, meaning that everything you experience outside of you is a reflection of what you feel inside. So if there is balance, love, and peace within you, the universe reflects that. But if there is doubt, fear, and lack, that's what comes back. Think about how many times you've wanted someone to remember you, but ended up becoming obsessed with the idea. What happened? The person distanced themselves even further, didn't they? It's because the energy of need repels. It screams, I want. But the universe understands, I don't have. Now, when you calm down, take a deep breath, and truly feel that connection is real. Without asking, without begging, without pressuring, something changes. The universe understands, this is already mine, and returns the vibration of presence. It's at that moment that the other person begins to think of you, to miss you, to remember you without knowing why. The central point of all this is, you don't attract by desire, you attract by vibration. And the right vibration comes from a feeling of completeness, not lack. It's when you speak and feel at the same time, when what you say carries true emotion. The right words only work when they come from an aligned heart. So before trying to make the universe act, align what's inside. Watts said, "You are not a drop separated from the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." And that's why when your energy changes, everything around you changes too. Now think about it. How many times have you tried to connect with someone and felt like you were forcing it? How many times have you repeated phrases, prayers or even visualizations and nothing happened? It's because there was a lack of vibration. Feeling is what connects everything. When you truly feel, the universe has no choice. It responds. And the other person feels it, even if they don't understand how. That's why the secret to making someone think of you isn't in words, but in the internal state of the person who pronounces them. So do the following. Comment below the word frequency. So I know you understand this point, because now you're about to discover what really moves this energy. There's a specific phrase that, when said with the right vibration, makes the connection happen instantly. And in the next step, I'll show you exactly what that phrase is and why it works in a way that even science is still trying to explain. Now comes the part everyone's been waiting for, the phrase that sparks instant connection, the one that, when said with the right vibration, makes the other person think of you, even without knowing why. But before I reveal the phrase to you, you need to understand what's behind it. Alan Watts said that when you realize you're a part of the universe and not separate from it, everything changes. And this phrase you're about to learn now works precisely because it stems from this awareness. It's not a request, it's not an attempt at control, it's an acknowledgement. When you say these words, you recognize the energetic connection that already exists. It's like turning on a light in the dark. You don't create the connection, you just illuminate what was already there. The phrase is simple but powerful. I feel you even when you're not here. It seems small, right? But its power lies in the feeling behind it. When you say it with true intention, the universe understands that there is no distance between you. This phrase carries the vibration of recognition and acceptance. You're not trying to force anything. You're simply affirming a truth, that the connection exists. And when the universe hears this from you, it rearranges the circumstances so the other person feels it too. It's not about magic, it's about frequency. Think about the impact of this phrase when said correctly. It's undemanding, and unafraid. It's pure presence. It's like saying, I know you feel me because we're part of the same whole. And do you know what happens when you say it like this? The other person begins to feel a slight restlessness, a memory, a desire to seek you out, because energetically, you've activated the link. Alan Watts said that the boundaries between me and the other are merely mental conventions, and that's exactly what this phrase dissolves. It breaks the illusory limit of distance and creates a shared field. But that's where many people go wrong. It's not enough to just repeat the phrase. The universe doesn't respond to automatic words, it responds to motion. So when you say, I feel you even when you're not here, do it with a calm heart, with the certainty that everything is okay. Feel the other person's energy, but without attachment, without desperation, without expectation. You're not trying to make the other person come running. You're simply sending a vibration of presence and calm. And this vibration is irresistible, because while neediness repels, peace attracts. The phrase works because it conveys what Alan Watts emphasized most, the consciousness of unity. When you say these words with the feeling of no separation, you trigger a kind of energy that cannot be ignored. It's as if you've created a direct line between two souls, a silent bridge where communication doesn't depend on voice or time. The person on the other end might be busy, distracted, in another country. It doesn't matter. They will feel something, even if it's a sudden memory, a sense of familiarity, or that inexplicable urge to seek you out. And here's the most interesting detail. The less you try, the more it works. Because the power of this phrase doesn't come from desire, it comes from conscience. When you speak with this inner clarity, the universe recognizes the vibration and responds precisely. You stop acting like someone who wants to control and start acting like someone who trusts. That's what makes the difference. Watts said, you don't have to push the river, it's already flowing. And that's exactly what this phrase is, a way to align yourself with the flow. Now, comment below the word presence, so I know you understand the real meaning of this. Because what comes next is even more important. Before saying this phrase, there's a correct way to prepare your mind and energy. Without this preparation, the phrase becomes just another attempt. But with it, the universe literally moves to connect you with whoever you want to reach, and that's what you'll understand in the next step. Before saying the sentence, there is a decisive moment, the preparation of your mind and energy. This is where most people go wrong because they think they just have to say the right words and the universe will understand. But that's not the case. The universe doesn't respond to memorized phrases. It responds to the vibrational state you're in when you say them. Alan Watts said that the secret of life is to be completely present in what's happening now, and that's exactly what you need to do before you say anything, because if your mind is anxious, stuck in the past, or trying to predict the future, the energy field gets scrambled and the signal doesn't come out clear. So before you open your mouth, you need to silence the internal noise. The first thing is breathe consciously. It's not just taking in air, it's feeling it come and go, as if each breath reconnects you to the present. When you breathe slowly and with intention, your body slows down and your mind reorganizes. Watts talked a lot about this, the power of simply being, because it's in this state that the universe hears you. The second thing is feel the connection, not thinking about them. You won't imagine the person coming to you, nor will you force an image. You'll simply feel their presence naturally, as if they were already part of your field. It's a light, pressure-free feeling. This is where alignment begins. Then, visualize a soft light surrounding you and that person. Nothing exaggerated, no ritual, no mysticism. Just see this light with the eyes of the heart, as if the space between you were filled with something calm and good. And most importantly, do not wish, recognize. There's a huge difference between desiring and acknowledging. When you desire, you vibrate in lack. When you acknowledge, you vibrate in abundance. Watts said that attachment is the greatest enemy of peace, and this applies perfectly here. Because the more you try to force a connection, the more you block it. But when you simply accept that the energy between you already exists, it expands naturally. Now comes the part that few understand. Thessalence, the moment before the sentence, is more powerful than the sentence itself. It's in this interval that the universe senses your intention. When you completely calm down, close your eyes, and stay present for a few seconds, you send a clear, direct signal. It's like adjusting the frequency of a radio before you begin speaking. If you're off target, the sound is distorted. But if you tune in, each word flows perfectly. And it's in this state that you should say, "I feel you even when you're not here." Say it just once, effortlessly, without repeating yourself, without trying to prove anything. Speak as if you already know the universe is listening. You'll notice a different sensation. Sometimes it's calm, sometimes it's warmth, sometimes it's a slight shiver. It's the energy field responding. At that moment, your vibration is aligned with the other person's, and when two frequencies meet in harmony, there's no distance. Alan Watts said that true love isn't about possession, it's about unity. And that's what this practice represents. You're not calling someone to come to you, you're just recognizing that there is already a bond between you, and the universe understands this as balance, not as lack. Now here's a powerful tip. Never say the phrase in the midst of chaos. Wait for a moment when your mind is clear, your body is light, and your heart is at peace. This could be upon waking, before bed, or during a quiet walk. The important thing is that the vibration of the moment matches your intention, because energy doesn't lie. It carries what you're feeling at the exact moment you speak, and the universe responds to authenticity, not effort. Therefore, the more natural it is, the stronger the effect. At this point, you'll realize you don't need to chase anything. The energy starts moving on its own, and this is where everything starts to fall into place. People remember you, situations realign, coincidences happen, but it's important to understand something. This isn't about control. It's about attunement. You've become the kind of person who emits the right frequency, and the universe responds automatically. Watts said that harmony arises when you stop fighting the flow, and that's exactly what this preparation does. It puts you in the right flow so that the phrase works like a natural, effortless command. Now comment here the word harmony, so I know you understand this part. Because what comes next is the most delicate and at the same time the most powerful point of all. It's what defines whether the universe will act quickly or if it will take its time. the moment when you let go of control and trust completely. It is at this moment that the universe begins to work behind the scenes and the answers begin to appear. And now we come to the part that separates those who truly understand the power of the universe from those who still try to control it, the moment to let go. Because after you say the phrase and prepare the energy, comes the step that seems the simplest, but is the most difficult for most. Let go. This is where a lot of people mess up. They do everything right, breathe, feel, speak with intention, but then they start thinking, did it work? Why haven't I received a signal yet? Did the person think of me? And that's exactly when the universe stops working. Alan Watts talked about this a lot. You can't control what's already moving. The river flows by itself. The mind's job is to observe, not interfere. And that's why, at this point, the secret is completely detach. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, but rather trusting. It's understanding that when you set a true intention, it's already begun to manifest, even if you don't see anything happening. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig the ground every day to see if it's growing, right? You trust the process, and the universe works the same way. Once you've said the phrase, the work stops being yours and becomes theirs. Now it's the universe that will move the pieces. And the more you try to control time, the more you block the outcome. That's why Alan Watts said that anxiety is the symptom of someone who doesn't trust life. And that's why this moment is the true test. Letting go is the most powerful act of faith there is. When you let go, the universe understands that you believes in connection, and that's precisely what makes the other person start to feel it, because the energy of certainty is irresistible. Have you ever noticed that when you're at peace, things flow, but when you're anxious, everything gets stuck? It's the same principle. When your vibration is calm, the universe works in your favor, silently, sometimes in ways you can't even imagine. Coincidences, sudden memories, unlikely reunions. And when this happens, it's not magic, it's resonance. Watts said that a person's power lies not in what they force, but in what they allow. And that's precisely what you do when you let go of control. You allow. You allow others to feel you. You allow the universe to do what needs to be done. You allow the natural flow of life to manifest. And suddenly things begin to fall into place in a way so natural it almost feels like destiny. But it's not destiny. It's attunement. It's a reflection of your internal state. When you speak the phrase with intention and then let go, the universe understands that you trust it, and it always responds to trust. Now, the most incredible thing about all this is that when you reach this point of total trust, the need disappears. You no longer need the other person to think about you, and that's exactly when they do. It's in this balance between feeling and letting go that energy moves, because when your presence is at peace, it's felt. And that's why Alan Watts said, real love is like the wind. You don't have to push it, just let it blow. The energy of detachment creates the space the universe needs to act. So, after you've done everything, breathing, feeling, saying, and letting go about your day as normal. Live lightly, smile, do what you love. Show the universe that it's already complete, because that's what attracts what's yours. The state of fulfillment. The universe doesn't respond to despair. It responds to certainty. When you reach this point, something truly changes. You feel such a deep peace that you no longer need to chase anything. And it's in this peace that others begin to think of you, not because you called them, but because your vibration has become impossible to ignore. Now you understand the power you carry when you speak consciously. Today you learned that a single sentence, spoken with the right energy, can move the universe and make someone think of you naturally, effortlessly, without rushing, simply by the strength of the vibration you emit. This knowledge changes everything, because now you know you don't need to chase anything. You just need to align your mind, heart, and intention. If this video made you realize how much the universe responds when you truly connect, reciprocate that energy by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, because this is where each new content takes you one step further on this journey of personal power and spiritual awareness. Write the word in the comments universe to show that you felt this connection happen within you. And stay with me, because the next video will open an even deeper level of this wisdom, where you'll understand why the universe sometimes tests you before delivering what you asked for. The answer to this is one of the most powerful truths you'll ever hear.